I just found out the Russo brothers' whole plan and I'm about to expose it to you for free right here on YouTube. So just stick with me through this whole video because I'm going to show you how all of these phases, all of these new characters, all of these TV shows and kind of stupid movies are quietly building to a possible Secret Wars reboot, and how every bit of it loops back to the one and only Amazing Spider-Man. My name is Purple America and thank you so much for watching, and this is my analysis on the MCU and Spider-Man. Real quick, before we get into it, everyone out here is kind of treating Doomsday and Secret Wars like it's going to be the next Avengers big moment. But nah, the guy actually holding this entire thing together is Spider-Man, and he does it in the dumbest, most genius way possible. He becomes a problem that nobody can solve, so let me show you how. All of it starts with the spell in No Way Home. And here's the part that everybody just doesn't really think about when it comes to that spell. It possibly didn't make just one city forget one Peter, it probably hit way harder than that. And in my opinion, every single Peter Parker in every universe out there got wiped off the books at the exact same time. And he's not hiding somewhere, right? And he's not trying to be some hidden Spider-Man. He's just not written down anywhere anymore in a reality to be able to see. And the crazy thing is you can already watch it happen in the trailer when it comes to this. So in Brand New Day, the fourth movie, it picks up right after the spell, and he's swinging around in a city full of people who can't really tell you what his name is, and nobody who loved him before remembers loving him. So nothing connects him to the Avengers anymore. He's basically a nobody now, and that right there is the exact reason he ends up being the most important person in this whole universe. So the first thing that got me though was the Punisher, and now the Punisher is hunting him. And he's not, I don't think, hunting Spider-Man, I think he's hunting Peter Parker by name. And I'm like, wait, so hold up. How do you hunt a guy the whole world forgot? You shouldn't be able to, right? Because nobody remembers who he is. Unless the spell didn't leave a clean little gap and something nasty kind of crawled in the middle of that. Like a name that now drags the past Avengers story. So maybe even Iron Man. So Frank is probably chasing this kid not knowing exactly why he's chasing him. And honestly, Spider-Man here isn't even a kid anymore. And that little detail tells you the spell is way weirder than anybody's admitting. So that plot point is what cracked this whole thing open for me, okay? As soon as I heard Punisher was coming through, I'm like, Punisher is more of a vigilante and a hunter. Why exactly would you need a hunter in a Spider-Man movie? Which brings me back to the erase not being a pure logic or story standpoint. And I think that the erase happened in the whole multiverse. Which means the second somebody shows up powerful enough to read the whole of the multiverse at once, Peter is the one name that just won't pop up in the system. And guess what? Somebody exactly like that is on the way. But before we get into that, I want to put you on to Valentina, because her whole game is the key to all of this. So watch how she moves. In Thunderbolts, she had her people planted the entire time, and the second they went rogue, she didn't even really blink. She just kind of flipped them into her own new Avengers, and that's her. So she always keeps one card flipped face down so nobody knows her next move. And in Brand New Day, she's possibly digging through all the old Avengers files looking for assets. And yeah, she can probably get in there because we see in Deadpool that Happy's still running the desk taking applications. That whole Deadpool application bit basically confirmed that those files have names on them and they're sitting there on paper. And when she's in there, she probably notices the one thing that nobody else would. Peter Parker doesn't come up, the one person that pretty much had everything to do with Iron Man who saved the universe. He's a straight up blank in the system, and most people would probably shrug and move on if they didn't have much motivation, but not her. She looks at a hero who doesn't officially exist and goes, ooh, jackpot. So she sends Punisher to go and find the real one, the actual Spider-Man that Peter is tied to and tied to the Avengers. And she probably tucks him away for when everything goes bad. She just has no clue how bad it actually gets. Alright, back to the web slingers, because there's a second Spidey thing humming in the background, and it's in this movie, and I think that it's very hinted at, and it's Miles. Not Miles particularly in a suit, not Miles getting named at all, just Miles being set down real quietly right before you'll find him later. And look at this poster. Those are Jordan prints. Jordans are a Miles thing, and it's never been a Peter thing. Then in the trailer, there's this kid who walks right up to Spider-Man. He's black, young, enthusiastic, and he has a quick little friendly moment. And he asks if Spider-Man is okay, and that's it. And nobody says the name Miles because legally they can't really say Miles Morales in full. That character lives in a whole different corner of the rights world right now. But they 100% kind of want you to feel him standing there in that moment. And it even goes further back than that trailer. There's a Portuguese dub of No Way Home where a neighbor kid straight up gets called Miles. And going way back, Donald Glover's Prowler side of things was already dropping references to a nephew, kind of sneaking that family through both the live action and the cartoon world. So they've been planting this kind of thing for years, and no one ever really put him in a suit to be able to be in the live action, but we see things coming. And here's why that matters. The animated movies are running their own half of this, I feel. The Spider-Verse stuff is building towards anomalies leaking across universes. And one of those ripples is the exact Miles we probably get a peek at in Brand New Day. So check it. If Miles Morales in the next movie possibly finds a new way of having a Spider-Verse without Miguel kind of interrupting, then we could possibly see a universe full of new, I guess, Miles and new Spider-Men. Peter's an anomaly because of the spell, and Miles is an anomaly because the multiverse itself is cracking open. That's two Spideys and two totally different reasons, but both quietly slipping off the grid. And remember that because it probably pays off big at the end. Now, Doom. I'm not gonna drown you in his backstory, but just the parts that wires you into all of this story. He probably wants to be God Emperor, and to pull that off, he's got to actually see and rewrite reality itself to recollect the stones. And the thing that lets him do this is Franklin Richards, and we see this with the post-credit scene in the Fantastic Four. And this kid, whose powers basically let you turn reality up and down like a dial, is immense. If you plug Franklin in, Doom can scan all of creation and start grabbing whatever he wants. And the nasty parts of all that is what he wants is probably more than just the stones itself. It most likely is people. I believe that the stones are living as humans in the multiversal realm. After Tony Snap, pretty much all the stones manifested their power in humans instead of other stones because of a broken timeline. So Doom probably won't be going and robbing vaults, he'll be hunting people. And to do that, he's got to map out everything. If you want more information on the humans as stones, or at least the characters as stones in the MCU, I'm probably going to do another video like that. Let's get this video to 100 likes and I'll release that, and we'll definitely go over some more. And I'm pretty sure Mephisto is tangled up in his reasons too. Mephisto is officially canon. We watched him show up for real in Ironheart, so the magic side of the universe is officially live and all over. And Doom reaching for power through old grief and dark magic, that's the most Doom thing ever and directly from the comics. And the point is, he needs a flawless read on reality, and Franklin hands him the machine to get it from an early age. Now let's drop Peter back into that machine. Doom runs his big scan and he locks down every variable in existence, and boom, there's a dead spot, a name that just won't load, and it's Peter. The spell already scrubbed him everywhere, so the most powerful guy in the multiverse is staring at his perfect map and literally cannot find this one thing. Not because Peter outmuscled him, but because Peter was never in the system to begin with, and that part should terrify Doom. He doesn't even know why that hole is there. The scan probably kicks back a second anomaly, and I think you might have an idea who that is. It's Deadpool. You get the same exact result for a completely different reason. Wade knows he's in a movie. He talks to the camera, he talks to you, and he's never really inside the story to begin with. So when Doom tries to rewrite reality like a script, Wade just is standing off to the side like, yeah, that doesn't really reach me, buddy. So now you've got these two holes in this God Emperor Doom's perfect map. One guy who can't be seen and the other guy who can't really be controlled. And remember who was already on to hole number one, Valentina. She probably clocked it all the way back in Brand New Day, so when Doom finally rolls in, and this is the good part, he's wearing a face the Avengers recognize, because under the mask he reads like a Tony variant, and he pulls up in a Fantastic Four ship asking everybody for help. The regular heroes probably completely lose their minds because they've never done the variant thing before, they're not Loki, and they've never been in the TVA, so they only know their own little world, and they probably trust him because most likely they see Tony as a trustable face. Valentina's probably the one person who's not fooled because she knows exactly what she's looking at, and she's already got the counter in her back pocket, a hero that the god can't scan. And so this might be spoilers for the next movie, so if you're really not trying to get that deep, you should probably leave now. Then comes the betrayal, and that's the moment Doom stops being a threat and becomes God Emperor Doom. He's been working right next to the people who think they're all on the same team, and he never was. He takes everything he needs off of them. He drops the ice cold line about how they were never going to fix this, and only he could, and flips the whole board over. And if you see these humans as stones, you could see them working with him in some kind of council that we get in the comics as well. You see heroes scattered across breaking realities, memories get wiped, and a whole universe rewritten to belong to one dude, and that becomes Secret Wars. But if you look at the anomalies, 2 people kept their memories. Peter, because you can't erase what you were never able to see in the first place, and Wade, because you can't rewrite a guy who already lives outside the script. So the back half of this whole thing is basically the 2 of them walking around Doom's world and tapping everybody on the shoulder going, hey, wake up, this isn't who you really are. And the kill shot to all of this, somebody walks up to Doom and maybe goes, alright, if you really know everything, tell me exactly who Peter Parker is. And he can't. Nothing comes out. The smartest guy alive, totally stumped by a kid he was never even able to see. And this is a perfect parallel between all the stuff we've seen in the previous phases and the next coming phases. If Tony has always underestimated Spider-Man as a character or just a young guy, and we see that dynamic in all the Spider-Man movies, we can totally understand why this Tony might completely dismiss a Spider-Man, because the original Tony completely dismissed a Spider-Man and had to learn the way to trusting Spider-Man. So Doom's ego kicks in and he calls Peter irrelevant, and Peter just walks right up to him and is like, yeah, you wrote me off and that's exactly how we got you. Because that's his whole problem right there. He can't trust a single person to help him. He's convinced that the second he's not personally holding every string, the whole thing falls apart. So he never asks for help, ever. And that's the thing that really kills him. Reality cracks wide open because his ego won't let him share the load. And then the heroes do the one thing that he never could. They rebuild it together. Doom ends up powerless, mortal, and mumbling that he could only ever be the one who could do it. And I'm sure somebody walks right past him like, you were just the only one who'd never let any other person try. So then we get a reset. Reality comes back, but this time from Franklin, and everybody who actually remembers what went down, which is the complete opposite of what Doom wanted. New world, old and new heroes folded in together and a clean slate. And the last shot is just Peter, by himself, the guy nobody remembered, quietly wrapping up the biggest story this universe has ever told like it's no big deal at all. And that Miles cue, which is the payoff to everything we planted way back, once Secret Wars resets the board and the door is finally open for him, the Jordans, the kid in the hallway, the slipped name, and the Prowler stuff, all of it is probably driving towards Miles taking the web for real. The reset is the clean handoff, and Peter goes out on his own terms, and Miles picks it up. And honestly, I think this is the real long game hidden behind all of it. Setting Miles up this carefully is how you eventually pull off a bigger deal between Sony and Marvel and Disney, the kind where both Spider-Men finally get to share one world and nobody steps on anybody's rights. The nobody swinging around the city that doesn't know Doom turns out to be the one piece that wouldn't fit on the board. And that kid in the hallway with the Jordans, that's the future of this whole thing, and just sitting and waiting for the page to turn after the animated movie. They've been binding this entire thing together this whole time, right in front of our faces, and I'm telling you, this might be the smartest thing the MCU has ever set up. If you like this breakdown, go ahead and subscribe. I thank you guys so much for watching this analysis of the MCU. I've been really excited for everything to come out, and the Spider-Man movie comes out on my birthday, so if you're watching this in the days after, wish me happy birthday in the comments. I appreciate it and I love all of you. All of you have a great day. God bless.